turtles have roamed the earth for tens of millions of years. They survived the extinction of ancient predators, dramatic climate shifts, and entire geological epochs. Yet they remain some of the most extraordinary animals on the planet. Most Americans picture turtles as slow, harmless backyard creatures, but the reality is far more wild. Some are genuine giants, others are ambush predators lurking in murky swamps. A few can crush bone with a single bite, and some look so alien that they barely seem real. What makes turtles truly remarkable is how different they all are. Different sizes, different lifestyles, different survival strategies. Here are 8 of the most unusual, dangerous, and fascinating turtles alive today, each playing by its own rules in a world that doesn't forgive weakness. The common snapping turtle. Forget everything you think you know about turtles. The common snapping turtle is not cute, not slow, and definitely not harmless. It's one of the most aggressive freshwater predators in North America, a creature with a massive head, powerful jaws, and a long dinosaur-like tail that makes it look more prehistoric than the turtles you'd find in a pet store. Its bite force is extraordinary. A large snapper can easily crush bone, crack the shells of other animals, and seriously injure a human hand. But the way it hunts is what makes it truly bizarre. Most of the time, a snapping turtle just sits. It lies nearly motionless on the bottom of swamps, rivers, and muddy ponds, coated in silt, algae, and mud. Prey swims by without even realizing a predator is right there. But here's the wild part. Inside its mouth is a small, worm-like appendage on its tongue. The turtle opens its jaws, goes perfectly still, and slowly wiggles that lure. A fish swims in for a closer look, and the jaws slam shut at incredible speed. This turtle uses built-in bait inside its own mouth, making it one of the most unconventional hunters in the reptile world. Snappers can live for decades, and the largest individuals become the undisputed apex predators of their local waterways. This isn't just a slow reptile, it's an armored ambush machine that has barely changed in millions of years. The leatherback sea turtle. The leatherback is the largest sea turtle on Earth, and next to it, most other turtles look like toys. Adult leatherbacks can exceed 6.5 feet in length and weigh nearly as much as a grizzly bear. But what makes it truly unique isn't its size. Unlike every other sea turtle, the leatherback has no hard shell. Instead, it has a thick, flexible, rubbery skin covering a specialized layer of tissue designed to withstand the crushing pressure of the deep ocean. This allows leatherbacks to dive deeper than 3,000 feet, beyond the reach of most marine predators, in water where sunlight barely penetrates. Even more impressive, leatherbacks can survive in frigid cold waters off the coasts of Alaska, Canada, and New England, where most reptiles would become completely inactive. Their bodies retain heat with remarkable efficiency. Some individuals migrate thousands of miles across entire ocean basins, from nesting beaches in the tropics all the way to feeding grounds off the U.S. East Coast, all in search of one thing: jellyfish. For a creature this massive, jellyfish seem like an underwhelming meal, but they're the key to the leatherback's survival in open water. The problem: floating plastic bags look almost identical to jellyfish. Leatherbacks swallow them regularly, with fatal results. Today, the leatherback is considered one of the most vulnerable marine species on the planet, a true ocean giant brought down not by natural predators, but by our trash. The mata-mata. The mata-mata is arguably the strangest looking animal in the Western Hemisphere. When people see one for the first time, they often don't realize it's a turtle at all. Its body is covered in irregular ridges and flaps. Its head resembles a chunk of rotting bark, and its long neck and triangular snout make it look more like a swamp monster than a reptile. All of that bizarre appearance serves one purpose: camouflage. The mata-mata lives in the murky rivers and flooded forests of South America, the Amazon and Orinoco basins, where the water is full of leaves, branches, and dark silt. In that environment, it's virtually invisible. It doesn't chase prey. It doesn't make fast attacks. It barely moves. Instead, the mata-mata lies on the bottom and becomes part of the scenery. Fish drift close, mistaking it for a waterlogged branch or a pile of debris. And then something remarkable happens. The mata-mata doesn't bite. It vacuums. It snaps its massive mouth open, creating a sudden rush of water that sucks the fish in whole in a fraction of a second. Then it pushes the water back out and swallows. The mata-mata essentially hunts using a vacuum mechanism, and it does it so fast that the prey never knows what happened. Sometimes this turtle holds completely still for hours, waiting for the perfect moment. No strength, no speed, no chase, just absolute patience and flawless camouflage. The mata mata is evolution's proof that sometimes the strangest solution is the most effective one. The Galapagos tortoise. The Galapagos tortoise is one of the largest land animals on Earth. Some adults weigh over 440 pounds, and their shells are so massive that standing next to one feels like standing next to a small boulder. But the most extraordinary thing about Galapagos tortoises isn't their size, it's their lifespan. These animals regularly live past 100 years. Some individuals alive today were hatched before World War I. When a Galapagos tortoise is born, the entire world around it may change multiple times before it dies. These giants live on the Galapagos Islands, a volcanic archipelago in the Pacific off the coast of Ecuador, where conditions vary dramatically from island to island. Some islands are dry and flat, others are lush and green. Because of this variation, different tortoise populations evolve differently. On dry islands where food grows close to the ground, tortoises have dome-shaped shells. On islands where vegetation grows higher, tortoises evolve saddle-shaped shells with a raised front opening, allowing them to stretch their necks upward to reach cacti and shrubs. The shape of their bodies literally adapted to match the food available on their specific island. This is one of the clearest examples of evolution in action, which is why these islands were so important to Charles Darwin. Despite their size, the Galapagos tortoises move very slowly, but they can cover surprising distances in search of water and food, and they can go without eating for extended periods. At one point, thousands of these giants roamed the islands. Then sailors discovered that tortoises could survive for months aboard ships without food or water, meaning they were basically living food storage. They were slaughtered by the hundreds of thousands. Several species went completely extinct. Today, surviving species are protected, and conservation programs have brought some populations back from the brink. But the Galapagos tortoise remains a living reminder that ancient giants still walk the earth alongside us. The Softshell Turtle. The Softshell Turtle looks nothing like the turtles from cartoons or nature documentaries. There's no hard shell, just a flat, leathery body that makes it look more like a living pancake with attitude than a traditional turtle. That flat, flexible form makes softshells extraordinarily fast. In water, they can outswim most other turtles, accelerate sharply, change direction instantly, and launch forward like a projectile when striking prey. The strangest feature is the long, snorkel-like snout. A softshell can breathe while keeping almost its entire body hidden underwater, sometimes with just the tip of that nose breaking the surface while the rest of it lies buried in sand or mud on the riverbed. That's exactly how it hunts. It buries itself on the bottom, becomes nearly invisible, and then rockets forward when a fish, frog, or small animal gets too close. And don't let the lack of a hard shell fool you. Soft shells are not defenseless. They have powerful jaws and a notoriously aggressive temperament. If threatened, they'll lunge and bite hard. Some of the larger species, like the Florida softshell or the enormous Asian giant softshell, can be genuinely dangerous to handle. Softshells thrive in murky water where poor visibility actually works in their favor. They don't rely on armor. They rely on speed, concealment, and surprise, making them one of the most unconventional ambush predators in freshwater ecosystems. The alligator snapping turtle. If the common snapping turtle is dangerous, the alligator snapping turtle is on a completely different level. It's the largest freshwater turtle in North America and one of the largest in the world. Some individuals weigh over 220 pounds. It looks like what you get if a snapping turtle and an alligator had a prehistoric baby. Massive head, enormous jaws, a heavily ridged shell with sharp projections, and a body so thick and armored that it barely looks real. This animal looks unchanged from the age of dinosaurs, because it essentially is. Its hunting strategy is nearly identical to the snapping turtles, but on a larger, more powerful scale. The alligator snapper finds a position on the bottom of a southern swamp, river, or bayou. The Mississippi River drainage system is its home turf and goes completely still. Its shell becomes coated in algae and sediment, until it looks like a mossy rock. Fish swim toward it without any suspicion. Then the lure appears. A small, pink, worm-like appendage on the tongue begins moving inside the open mouth. To a passing fish, it looks like an easy meal. The moment that fish gets close enough, the jaws snap shut with a force capable of crushing bone, shell, and just about anything else. The alligator snapping turtle barely moves. It barely expends energy. It is, functionally, a perfectly camouflaged trap that can sit motionless for hours. And it's been doing this for millions of years. The green sea turtle. The green sea turtle is one of the most recognizable marine animals in the world. iconic in ocean conservation imagery, Hawaiian culture, and environmental awareness campaigns across the US. But most people don't know what makes it genuinely unusual. The name has nothing to do with the color of its shell. It comes from the greenish tint of the fat inside its body, a result of its diet. And that diet is what sets the green sea turtle apart from most other sea turtles. Adults are almost entirely herbivorous. They graze on seagrass and algae, functioning essentially as underwater lawnmowers. By grazing on marine vegetation, they help maintain the health of entire seagrass ecosystems, which in turn support fish populations that fishing communities across the Gulf Coast, Hawaii, and Florida depend on. But the most astonishing thing about green sea turtles is their navigation. These animals can travel 1,400 miles across open ocean and then return, years later, to the exact beach where they were born to lay their own eggs. Scientists still don't fully understand how they do it. The leading theory is that they navigate using the Earth's magnetic field, essentially carrying a biological GPS inside their bodies. Their lives are brutal from the very start. When hatchlings scramble out of the sand toward the water, only a handful make it. Birds, crabs, and fish pick off the vast majority in the first few minutes of life. The survivors face nets, plastic, boat strikes, and coastal development. Green sea turtles are currently listed as endangered under the Endangered Species Act, but they're also one of the great conservation success stories. In places like Florida and Hawaii, populations have been slowly recovering thanks to protection efforts. They're proof that when humans choose to act, we can reverse some of the damage we've caused. The hawksbill sea turtle. The hawksbill is one of the most ecologically important animals in the ocean, and most people have never heard of it. It's easy to recognize: a narrow, pointed head and a sharp, curved beak that looks like the bill of a hawk or an eagle. That beak isn't decorative. The hawksbill uses it to reach into cracks and crevices in coral reefs to feed on sea sponges, organisms that are toxic to most other marine animals. By controlling sponge growth, hawksbills perform a critical maintenance function on coral reefs. Without them, sponges can overgrow and suffocate coral, collapsing the entire reef ecosystem. Coral reefs, in turn, support roughly 25% of all marine species on Earth, including the fisheries that feed billions of people. The hawksbill is essentially a keystone species. Remove it, and the entire system starts to fall apart. The hawksbill is highly agile. It maneuvers through tight reef passages using its streamlined body in powerful flippers with a precision that larger sea turtles can't match. But despite its ecological importance, the hawksbill is critically endangered. For centuries, its beautifully patterned shell, called tortoise shell, was used to make jewelry, combs, eyeglass frames, and luxury goods. The trade devastated global populations. While international trade in hawksbill products is now banned, illegal poaching continues, and the species remains one of the rarest sea turtles on Earth. The loss of the hawksbill wouldn't just mean losing a beautiful animal. It would mean losing one of the ocean's most essential maintenance workers, a creature that has helped keep coral reefs alive for millions of years. Turtles look slow and harmless, but behind those shells are ancient predators, ocean giants, and survivors that have outlasted dinosaurs, ice ages, and entire civilizations. Some hunt from ambush, some cross entire oceans, some look like they wandered in from a prehistoric nightmare. They are, in every sense, among the most remarkable animals on Earth, and most of us walk right past them without a second thought.